journey by leaving the United States in 1975, working with rural women all over the world, trying to find ways they could preserve their traditional skills. So in 1989, I arrived in Laos, and I discovered that Laos was a weaver's paradise. They had extraordinary skills, amazing designs, complexity of technique. 49 groups, but there are probably many more. This is a photograph from the late 1800s in Laos. The Thai people, many of the Thai ethnic groups live and reside and still practice weaving in Laos. The court itself are more beautiful textiles that were very different than the ethnic textiles, but the textiles were shared by everyone. All of the ethnic people, of course, has revolutionized the world. And I am proud that we're able to be part of that and understand the simple technology that allows us to be complex challenges. There's no way to know the art. It's important to understand that each of the moves, each of the ethnic moves, and that enables us supplementary. We do continuous supplementary. I make control the densities to making each of the products, each of the processes. We have trained staff one generation to the next, so we're now on our younger generation of this intent. What I've been doing for 40 years. So, ttac, of course,
give us a good example how schools can have developed our traditional practice. And I think that Vietnam also did such kind of stuff. Thank you. Now I think that we shall move to another presentation from the Philippines. May I invite Mrs Cristina from the Philippines on the theme deeply related, interconnected, and review of Philippines textiles in modern society and the different application.
how they've been applied in modern society. So, as a technoped, and I realized that when keeping the different weaving communities around the Philippines, I learned more about the different cultures and how different they are. So choosing your fabric, some weavers from Abra and Benguet, and then same with Aklan and the Benguet weavers. The weavers in Palawan and the Philippines and the Toso. This is what we can say that our materials are. Or with other weaving communities, they use just plain cotton or polyester thread because they work with whatever. For the pineapple fiber, the pineapple thread, we have a couple of them around now. These are just some photos of different weavers. And then this is done by another local community with the Gawad Kalina who also employs, well, that's the one that they have the housing project, so they work also with those who don't have jobs, teach them new skills. And this is done with several fashion designers from the Philippines also who work with those women and bags. Another group is called Rags to Riches, where they give also as well livelihood to the women of the Kayatas. It's the one with the garbage. But they've been able to integrate already now their new collections to the national fibers. So they've been showing us well in London and all around the world. So there's an ongoing challenge we face every day, keeping the balance of old and new, traditional and contemporary. It is the rise of heritage brands. There's this book I recently read called Little Red Cow, where they're talking about Asian distinct and will keep our cultural identity. So I'd like to take a short video.
of means.
And the production of yarn from cotton husk made into socket. That's the supplementary weft, the traditional rectangular cloth from Malaysia. And something new to us, at least for me, and I think it's quite unique. From Indonesia, we heard Alfonsa. She is a weaver from a village in East Indonesia. She is somebody from the cooperative there, and she showed us the many, very likely, many styles of wearing traditional clothing. Also, she explained about the challenges they face as a cooperative, and also their dreams. I think everybody has dreams, because the last speaker also had a dream. Vietnam came then and presented her paper on brocade weaving by the white tie line, Maya Thao, which exists among the Thai women in society. She hopes that to produce they should comply with the social needs and should be linked with demands. They should increase advertising activities and should be introduced internationally. Tourism should be the base of traditional characteristics. Now, Dr. Carol Cassidy started with the history of how she began this company in Lao. Very famous company, very, very knowledgeable and very beautiful techniques they use there. She created new colors. She introduced the Lao loom for ikat tapestry and supplementary weft. She is also very much involved in teaching, exhibitions and educational exhibition. She starts with the traditional, goes to the replica, and then shows the contemporary. In the Philippines, it was quite interesting, many, many projects that happened there, because they were quite new to us, and it's very interesting to know that people are really working towards something modern, something that can be used in daily life. So she described the development of designs and her experiments, collaboration with corporations. She also discussed the Philippine law on fibers, and then the paper, the work together with the Japanese partners. And according to this lady, she said that styling was one of the most important things, and how to mix traditional and contemporary. Well, I think it was very nice that she closed with a picture of her country with the sun. I think if there are any questions, can you please post them now? We're going to eat very much. Okay. Well, maybe if you come up with a question later, you still can. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you everybody. I think that we have very successful finished part of our meeting. I now start for lunch. My colleagues will have lunch now. Please come back here at the top of the exactly, because our program will be very happy with that. Thank you very much.
15 cm sampai 20 cm mulai pagi sampai sore.
The production is very complicated, so therefore it's quite exclusive and expensive. But it's very, very beautiful. He has won 2 times the prize in Thailand.
Untuk pengembangan berikutnya yang saya arahkan untuk selendang yang dari bahan baku material, bahan baku dari wild silk, yang coklat itu wild silk, kemudian yang kuning itu tricula. Ada wild silk itu ada dibagi 2, atakus yang coklat, kemudian yang krem itu tricula. Jadi teknik ikat, kombinasi ikat, kombinasi dengan desain struktur.
He has his own workshop. He makes his own thread, silk thread from cocoons from.
Untuk mesinnya sendiri sudah saya coba dan sudah saya buat, tinggal seperti prosesnya.
Now we shall move to another item of our conference. We would like to invite Mr. Dicane Dujilho from the United States of America to make a presentation on the theme use of textiles within the context of museum exhibitions and the way in which the introduction of material content.
This is a typical French academic self-portrait. It's idealized. It's clearly a piece of colonial and a piece in Georgia. This is one of them. It sets the tone of the type of aesthetic that runs through the rest of the entire exhibition. If I can have the next slide, throughout the region. It was a really extensive trip that he took through the region, all the way from Cambodia through North Vietnam, very close to the Chinese border. In 1998, actually, our staff decided it was time to augment this collection. It had been housed at the United Museum. Larger audience and broaden our audience. The addition of the textiles would also potentially attract people about the process of collecting the textiles based on the artworks that he conducted by our giver.
And he identifies this as a young dancer named Simon. Formal, nothing like the formal Mozart portraits that he did. She's with her child, she's got on her headdress. You can see the entire, almost the entire child costume. She's looking directly at the artist, she's holding her child, she's got this fabulous headdress on. It's hard to see in this particular slide, but there's another little one. We have a charcoal sketch. In the next slide.
Art or culture in Asean. Sometimes we have seen also the same question presented, but not systematically. And we remember countries of Asean can learn experts are presenting our products in a way that people have to understand. Useful textile. And now shall we move to another one? We would like to invite Mrs Carol Cassidy from India to present us the theme contemporization of the Indigenous Textile to enhance its sustainability.
Contemporization of Indigenous Textiles enhance its sustainability. India and the tradition is still continued today, but to a lesser extent. And the indigenous communities of India have played a major role in this continuation. And India has largest number of indigenous
indigenous communities probably in the world, and with highest concentration in the northeastern part of India. Now, northeastern part of India, there are 7 states in northeast part, and about 200 ethnic communities reside there. Each of these communities have different culture, traditions, and textile specialties. The hill tribe make their houses on a raised platform, and the plain tribe they make their houses directly on the ground. And regarding the weaving practices, sericulture is another common textile practice among these tribes, and the process for reeling and spinning the silk. And this Muga silk, which I am wearing today, is the commercialization and globalization. Younger generation, no more they are interested in continuing these practices. They have other opportunities in front of them, and then they find it. Compared to 50 to 60,000 Indian money in the developed countries. Mata tribe is a hill tribe, and they mostly use colorful designs in geometrical form. This is another hill tribe as well as plain tribe. They use even the geometrical motifs of animals. And during my study, I found that most of the tribes or ethnic groups don't document the design. That's why if one expert weaver dies, this is another small tribal community having very rich textile tradition. They are very colorful. They train their eye. I found this beautiful snake design. This lady has woven. This is the season of design, and that means after she goes, there this design will die.
This is very much what I'm talking I see it in the building crisis that a lot of the papers have been sort of alluding to it in a way, talking about the decline in production, looking on surveys or weavers and everything, kind of it's good. And if we look at the next couple of years, I think we're going to see growth at a pace that's going to be mind-boggling. And Vietnam is I think is a useful place for us to think about. We just come through Hanoi. Most of you have flown in through Hanoi. Hanoi is the fastest growing city in the world. And in fact, Vietnam, of course, is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And one of the significant things, and I think it's
see the same development taking place now. This is something again that's quite different than we found in the past, because one of the crucial things I think is that, whether we like it or not, weaving in most of these areas is associated with poverty. People who weave generally have been poor traditionally. In fact, even when we talk about
another one, right.
Being produced for the local market and also for the tourist market. This map shows the location of the state of Kelantan and Terengganu in Malaysia. Yeah. Both states are still producing batik production. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge fully listed as an intangible cultural heritage in UNESCO in 2009. But I would like to highlight techniques in early 1100th century. Repeating motifs slide up or down, either vertical, horizontal or diagonal. Flex and the image reverse as in a mirror repeat. And finally is the technique. So this is the model. Reflection, and finally glide reflection.
Different kind of pattern, and this is the natural dye stuff that grow in Kerak. So the jalanan is along the dye in Kerak, where the jalanan is produced brown color, and the indigo is of the tip produce the brown reddish color, and the mahogany, the bark of mahogany produce the brown color. So mostly this natural dye stuff is used in Kerak. During the rainy season, both men and women will work together in the land. The the process of the textile, usually the senior generation who start and ending the phase of textile maker who do the weaving process. So, because traditionally it's only a grandma job to spin the yarn and also preparing all also the white dots on the background. According to the local belief, it is the representation of, and this is the process of the batik lurik. So first, they with the or some white dot on the blue background, and this is the batik gedok process. So first, after the apply the batik to make a motif and dye with the.
Và cũng mình được chào mừng tất cả quý vị đã đến Việt Nam và tham dự cái hội thảo về Việt Nam về Asean lần này. Tôi rất hân hạnh là đại diện cho các nhà thiết kế của Việt Nam được gửi đến các vị một số các trang trẻ cũng như một số nước ngoài. Và đến với cái hội thảo lần này thì tôi đã rất hân hạnh được tham dự hai phần trong khuôn khổ của chương trình. Phần thứ nhất là tôi được đến Việt Nam chúng tôi đã thấy thì đó là khu trưng bày của không gian văn hóa áo dài Việt Nam. Và không biết là ở đây thì của Việt Nam đến thì hai lần này mà tôi đã lại mất cái cơ hội là bởi vì tất cả các quý vị đã biết rằng là địa phương cũng như các đài truyền hình ở các tỉnh thành trong Việt Nam đưa tải. Và đến phần của tôi thì sóng đã hết, cho nên là tôi đến từ thủ đô Hà Nội. Với một cái thông điệp tôi đưa ra rằng là một người kết nối giữa những sản phẩm nguyên liệu đến những sản phẩm ứng dụng. Tôi đã được yêu thích cũng như là rất thán phục những cái sản phẩm